Hi, hello, welcome to Stay Tuned channel. Today we are going to see the summary of the lesson The Beggar. NCERT grade 9 supplementary reader moments. So this story has been written by a famous Russian writer named Anton Chekhov. The story begins with the beggar's pleas to an advocate, Sarjay. The beggar says that he has not eaten in 3 days. For 8 years, he was a village school teacher and fell victim to a conspiracy that cost him his reputation and his job. For a year, he has had no employment. Sarjay looks at the beggar's overcoat and face. He thinks he has seen him somewhere else. The beggar further explains that he has been offered a position in the province of Kaluga, but to take it up, he needs money. Sarjay observes the beggar's overshoes. One is higher than the other. He suddenly remembers where he had seen the beggar before. He tells the beggar that 2 days ago he had met him in Sadovia Street, and the latter had claimed that he had been a student who had been expelled from the college. The beggar is surprised and claims that he has papers to prove that he was a village school teacher. Sarjay turns away from him disappointed. Sarjay says that for this fraud, he will call the police. At this, the beggar confesses that he used to be a part of a Russian choir and had been expelled for drunkenness. He says he has no choice but to lie, as no one will help him if he tells them the truth. Sarjay tells him to work. He asks the beggar if he would like to chop wood for him. The beggar accepts. Sarjay takes the beggar home and tells his cook, Olga, to take him to the woodshed. It becomes apparent from the beggar's body language that he has accepted this job only out of pride and shame and not because he wants to work. It is also apparent that the beggar has become frail because of drinking vodka and does not have the slightest will to do hard work. Sarjay observes Olga and the beggar from the window into the dining room. He sees them making their way through the snow to the woodshed. Olga does not seem to take kindly the beggar. Upon reaching the shed, Olga shoves the beggar aside with her elbow and angrily bangs the door. He then sees the beggar seat himself upon a log and look lost in thought. Olga flings an axe at his feet, spits angrily, and appears to be scolding him. At this point, the beggar begins to make half-hearted attempts to chop a piece of wood. By now, Sarjay's anger has vanished and he begins to feel ashamed at having sent a spoiled, drunken, and perhaps sick man to do hard labor in the cold weather. After an hour, Olga informs Sarjay that all the wood has been chopped. Sarjay tells her to pay the beggar half a ruble and also tell him that he can come back to cut wood on the first day of every month. There would always be work for him. On the first day of the next month, the beggar comes to chop wood and earns half a ruble again, though he can barely stand steadily on his feet. After that, he returns to Sarjay's yard many times and is given work every time. He shovels snow, organizes the woodshed, and dusts the rugs and mattresses. Every time he is paid 20 to 40 kopecks. And one time he is also given a pair of old trousers. When Sarjay moves to a new house, the beggar is hired to help with the packing and moving of the furniture. This time he comes silent sober and gloomy. He does not even pretend to be working. He shivers in the cold and becomes embarrassed when the carters laugh at his behavior and his tattered overcoat. Sarjay sends for him and says he is happy that the beggar is working and is sober. He asks a beggar for his name. The beggar says his name is Lashkov. Sarjay offers him a better job and asks Lashkov if he can write. When, when Lashkov says that he can write, Sarjay asks him to take a letter to someone the next day, where he'll be given copying work. Sarjay reminds him to work hard, be sober, and remember his words. Sarjay is happy at having set Lashkov on the right path. Lashkov takes the letter and after that day does not return to work for Sarjay. 2 years go by. One day, when Sarjay is buying tickets at a theatre's ticket window, he notices a small man beside him wearing a coat collar of curly fur and a worn sealskin cap. This man timidly asks for a ticket and pays in copper coins. Sarjay realizes this man is Lashkov and asks him what he has been doing. Lashkov says he is doing well. He is a notary and earns 35 rubles a month. Sarjay is delighted and tells Lashkov that he is almost like a godsend to him. He reminds Lashkov of the scolding he had given him and thanks him for not forgetting his words. Lashkov thanks Sarjay as well and says that had it not been Sarjay's help, Lashkov would probably still be lying and begging. He expresses his gratitude to Sarjay but says that it was Olga who saved him. He explains that when he used to go to Sarjay's house, Olga would sit opposite to him, become sad and weep, saying that Lashkov was an unfortunate drunkard who would find no happiness in this life or the next. She would cry and be miserable, but most importantly, she would chop the wood for him. He confesses that he never chopped a single piece of wood and that she had done it all. He cannot explain how this act changed him and saved him. All he knows is that her words and kind deeds changed his heart, set him on the right path, and he would never forget that. Then the theatre's bell rings and Lashkov bows and goes inside the gallery. I hope you like the story and keep watching my channel. Subscribe, like and share among your friends. Bye. Take care.